Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Unfiltered Tea with Malu. Today, I would like to explain 10 things I would tell my younger self. I actually want to say something about that. With growing up and becoming older, I'm not saying that I'm that old. Okay, I still feel like a teenager. I'm only 21 years old. But I've been realizing that I'm really getting older and I'm really not a child anymore. And I can remember back when I was like 14 till 17 years old, even when I was 19 years old, I thought I knew everything, okay? I thought I had enough life experience. I was like, I'm as wise as you all are. But I was very wrong. I was very wrong because now I'm 21 and life is hitting me. And even though I feel like I was pretty wise for my age and pretty mature for my age and understanding and emotionally intelligent, etc., I still didn't know shit. Yeah. So I'd like to separate myself now from my younger self and really see them as two different girls, two different people. And I don't know if you can see it, but like on my closet, I have like pictures of myself from when I was younger. Also some pictures of me and my brothers, etc. But mostly from me when I was younger, just so that when I look at those pictures, I can know who I'm doing this all for. I can feel that connection with my child self as if we're two separate people. So I brought my book. I have my little book here, okay? It says Good Vibes because today we're gonna go for good vibes. And I'm gonna read, I put my notes in here. So if you see me looking here, it's just because I'm reading off from the notes, okay? 10 things I would tell my younger self. So the first one we're gonna start with is start reading books to better your vocabulary and become more intelligent. Luckily, I started reading books. I should have started earlier. Or I wish my mom had pushed me more to read books when I was very young. But I started reading more informational books when I was like 16 years old. And since then, I haven't stopped reading. You can also see on my closet that I have a couple of books. I do really need to get into reading again because I have stopped for a little while. But I really noticed that when you're reading books, you automatically become, let's say that your web of knowledge automatically becomes bigger. And what I also noticed is that I would always pick English books or English translations so I could better my English. But now I'm like, wait, my Dutch, what is going on with my Dutch? I noticed that my Dutch was becoming worse. So I was panicking. So I've started buying books in Dutch. So I'm just going to read them in Dutch right now. Me personally, when I read books, I prefer to read informational books. So I don't really like storylines, romantic books. But I think I would like to start reading books in the theme of thriller, detective. Yeah, I think that's what I would like to start doing. Because also when I watch shows, I like to watch the thriller ones, the ones with detectives, with mystery, the psychological ones. I also really like stalkers. Don't ask me why, because it gives me the chills and it makes me think of life differently after watching stuff like that, especially when it's a true crime or something. But yeah, that's really my interest. So I might start reading those books as well. But for now, I'm only reading informational books, and that could be about relationships, attachment styles, more like on the psychological side, but also about money. Everyone has read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I also read 48 Laws of Power, but I didn't finish it and I didn't like it. Sorry. It's giving too much like Alpha Man, Red Pill, Andrew Tate. Like, I don't have that many enemies, okay? I'm just trying to live my life. I'm just trying to float into life like a little butterfly. So no, that book was not for me. Next one. So second point, learn to balance between saving your money and also spending your money on experiences. I grew up in a household where we didn't have a lot of money, but my mom gave me everything and I love her for that. But because of that, I really created like a fear around money, like sort of anxiety around money. I started working at 16 years old, and when I started working, at first I would blow my money. I would go to restaurants and I would go for drinks and this and that. And I would just spend my money. But obviously I was also 16 years old, so I didn't really have expenses like that. But as I got older, I became even more scared to spend money. Even when it was on experiences, I always thought that spending money on vacations, going to certain events and stuff like that was a waste of money. It's like the most important thing to keep as much money as possible. But I actually grew out of that. Now I'm living by myself And yeah, I was actually very boring in the last couple of years. While boring, I just felt like a grandma. I would just go to the gym. Like my Friday evening would just be being in bed and just going to bed very early. And that's fine. That is fine. But 2025 was very drastic for me. It was very chaotic and drastic. So I started going to like certain events during summertime, also because my friends would drag me, because they were asking me like, oh, okay, please come, can you please come, can you please come? We should do this, we should do that. Even my mom, she was saying like, you need to be outside, girl, go outside, because you're always staying inside, like you're boring. Even me, I'm less boring than you. My mom is 61. Yeah, so she told me to go outside, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go outside. And I made like not impulsive decisions, because I'm not impulsive with my decisions. I'm a master overthinker. I would just make decisions like I was thinking like, okay, you want to go there? I'm looking, oh, I have enough money. It will not get me in trouble. I will still be able to pay my rent. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So I went on very last minute trips and things where people would say like, you're crazy. Like, why would you do this? And I had the best time of my life. And I made such unforgettable memories. So I never regret it. So now I want to be more like that. Now I give more value to spending my money on experiences. I still need to be wise with it, but spending my money on experiences and not keeping too much for yourself. It's very important to budget and balance what you can spend and what you are gonna save. You only have one life. Imagine you're like in your 30s, now you have a family, now you have children, now you have this and that, all these other responsibilities, and you regret not going on certain trips or doing things with your friends that you missed out on just because you had the fear of losing money. You know, even if you're declining just because you don't feel like going or because you feel like it's not worth it, that's another thing. But if it's because of a fear, an unnecessary fear of losing money that's gonna come back either way and that's not gonna get you in trouble, yeah, girl, go book that trip. Okay, third point. No person is worth your mental health. And this one is very important because me, like I said, I'm a master overthinker, okay? I grew up thinking a lot about other people and then thinking about myself. I would always think about how I could make people feel comfortable, even though they didn't care if I was comfortable or not. I really had to learn the hard way, even with family members. I needed to learn the hard way to set boundaries. So that was in my family, in friendships, in relationships, where that relationship really took a toll on my mental health. And then the result was me failing school or me like not going to the gym anymore. Something about me, I feel my emotions very passionately. So when I'm happy, I am very happy. But also when I'm sad, when I feel depressed and I cannot get myself out of it, I notice that I start neglecting myself and my goals and my everything, because I just need life to slow down and to actually stop for a minute so I can get myself back together. It doesn't do that. When it comes to people having that much of an effect on you till the point where you are letting go of yourself and you don't recognize yourself in the mirror anymore, no, that's bad. So I really needed to learn how to set boundaries. No person is worth the stress in your mind and the anxiety that you get and the depression that you get. No person is worth that, because the fact that they can even do something to you that results in you feeling that way means that they don't even want the best for you. They probably don't respect you. They probably don't care about you. So why would you care about them? Why was I I'm not necessarily talking for you guys, but why do we often want to take care of people that are only hurting us? And the more they hurt us, the more we want to we think we can help them. We think we can help them heal because we can see their wounds and we can see the trauma behind it and this and that. But you are not a punching bag. So let those people go before it's too late. That's really something I needed to learn last year. I never want to go through what I went through in 2025 again. And that means that a part of me needs to deal with things differently, where I don't let anyone get me to a point where I am burned out. Yeah, that's the tea. Okay, next point, number 4. Having empathy doesn't equal that you need to accept disrespect. And this goes together with like the setting boundaries and that no person is worth your mental health. I am very understanding, right? Every time I hear a person talking about their problems, it's very easy for me to psychoanalyze it. Like, oh, but it comes from here, it comes from there, it comes from there, it comes from there. But I had to stop and think to myself, wait a second, but I went through things too, and I'm not acting like a bitch. I went through things too, and I'm not trying to ruin someone's life. I don't envy people like that. I don't treat them horribly. So it's just a weak excuse for them. Or it was my fault to think that when I understand someone, that means I need to accept how they behave towards me. How I work right now is, if you think you don't need me in your life, if you are throwing me out of your life because you are better off without me, that's fine. And sometimes it can be because of some mental reasons or certain influences, but you don't need to come back, because the way you threw me out of your life is if you just threw a trash bag in the garbage, you can also leave me there. Because you were also walking away and you didn't even look behind you to see how I was doing. So now you can just stay there. You made your bed, go and lay in it, okay? That's what I have to say about that. You can understand a person's behavior without accepting them back in your life to protect your own heart and to protect your self-worth. And otherwise, they need to go to a freaking therapist, because you are not the one. Nah. Okay. Number 5, follow your intuition because it's there for a reason. Very important one, because sometimes I know, especially as women, we have that. We can wake up and we can just feel something. Something is not right. Something does not feel right. And then eventually we are right about it. And then we're like, what? I already felt this. I have nothing further to elaborate on that. Just follow your intuition. But there's also a difference between your mind, your anxiety in your mind, your brain trying to keep you safe, even though no danger, or really your intuition that you feel. When it's anxiety and when it's like a false intuition, you feel it in a different part of your body than when it's really your intuition. I actually need to look that up because I forgot about that. But yeah, okay. I have nothing further to elaborate on that, because everyone's intuition, it's within yourself. I don't know a lot about intuition. It's just something that you feel. But just know, when you feel something is not right, it probably isn't. Sometimes you do need more confirmation before you think like, okay, I'm right. My intuition was right. But in most cases, you already know. You already know. Number 6. Self-trust starts with stopping to ask for everyone's opinion. When you do that, you will also grow your intuition. You will also get a stronger intuition. When I was younger, could be about something small, I would always ask people like, should I post this picture? Or should I post that picture? And I would ask like 5 or 6 different people, and they would have like 3 or 4 different opinions. I would still be stuck and I would be like, what am I gonna do? But it's just an Instagram post. Why am I doing that? Honestly, this is your life. And unless you're delusional and dumb, you can make choices for yourself. And even if some people are not gonna like it, that doesn't matter, because it's about you. You post what you want to post. You do what you want to do. So how do you practice growing your intuition and listening more to your intuition? It's by stopping to ask everyone for their opinion. The more you ask people for their opinion, the less you listen to yourself. Imagine. You have a thought, you want to do something, you want to say something, you had that thought in your mind. And now you're asking your best friend, and now you're asking your sister, and now you're asking your mom, and now you have all these other thoughts in your mind, and they are pushing back your own thoughts and your own opinion. Now you are behaving in a way that you would normally not behave in, because you are not acting like yourself, you're acting like someone else, because you're always taking other people's opinion. How do you know who you are if you are always asking other people what they think or what you should do? Exactly. So from the moment I started, you can ask people for advice, but from the moment I started to minimalize asking people for their opinions and what to do in this situation, especially when they are like pretty unserious situations, that's when I also started to grow my confidence, because now I can trust myself. Because if you're always asking people for their opinion, you also don't trust yourself. You are the only person that you're going to stay with your whole life. And there's no reason to always ask people what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Just do it. Point number 7. Observe people's behavior without saying too much. You know, when you ask a person if they're lying, or when you ask a person a question because you want clarity on something, you can do that. But at the same time, look at how they're acting. Don't look at what they're saying. When a man comes to you and says, oh, I want to take you out on a date and I want to do this and I'm going to do that and I was going to do this and this and this and this and this and this, just say, and look at what he's going to do. Like, look at his actions later. That's something also I really needed to learn, because when I was younger, I would trust people on their word, because I would be like, I would never lie. Like, I would not say unnecessary stuff. If I don't like you, I'm not going to say that I like you. If I don't want to meet up with you, I'm not going to say I want to meet up with you. Why would I lie about it? I'm just very transparent, and I have always been very transparent in the way I'm communicating with people and what I think about them, whatever. I'm not no fake B, okay? But some people aren't like that, and I don't understand that, but that's another topic. But yeah, I actually want to make a separate video on how to see when a person is lying and how to see certain different things just in the way they're standing, their posture and their face expressions, etc. I'm just gonna give one example here. So when a person is lying, when you ask them a question and a person is lying, their voice goes higher. Like, most of the time, at the first half of their sentence, they speak normally, and at the end, it goes higher. I had one friend, and I called him up. No, he called me up, and I asked him, are you alone? Are you by yourself? Because I wanted to talk about something personal. And he said, no. That's also something. He waited a few seconds. I didn't see his face. It wasn't on FaceTime. He was waiting a few seconds before answering. And that also indicated to me that he was thinking about what he was going to say. So that means that you're lying. That already means that you're not being honest with me. That's already how I knew. Then he proceeded to say, no, I'm not alone. So I asked him, okay, so who are you with? My friends? My friends? My friends? You see the difference in the tone? In the first half, he was speaking in a normal way, and then at the end the tone went higher, and that's how you can see that people lie. And also, if he would be with his friends, he would just tell me the names of his friends, but instead he said my friends, even though I know all his friends. So normally he would say the names. So I knew he was lying, and then a few days later I asked him, like, you were lying to me, right? Like, you weren't with your friends. And he said, no, I wasn't with my friends. Exactly. And I already knew by the time you took before responding to me, and also the way your tone changed. But anyway, that's the topic for another day. I want to make a separate video on that. But yeah, people's behavior. Also, especially with narcissists, when they are speaking to you and they're trying to intimidate you or gaslight you, just stare at them. Just stare at them. And don't answer too quickly. Just look at them, because they're going to get nervous. And when people are lying, the way they speak obviously changes. But also, if you don't say anything back and you're just like thinking for a few seconds and you just look them in the eyes, they're going to get nervous, because then they're going to think like, oh, does this person know that I'm lying or not? And then most of the time, they're either going to tell on themselves by getting messy with their explanation, or their tone in their voice is also going to change. Or you're just going to see in their expression that they're getting nervous. It's like, why are you getting nervous for if you're speaking the truth? Okay, next 8. And this is a very important one. I should have actually put this at number 1. No is a full sentence. Boundaries are super important. And that goes for relationships, friendships, between family members, even in your class, with your classmates, with your teachers, everything. And I still make this mistake a lot of times where I explain myself too much. Why am I over explaining myself to you? And my friends tell me that all the time. They tell me like, Mariama, why are you even explaining yourself? And then I'm like, but I feel like explaining myself because I want to let this person know how I feel. And it's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you don't even know them that well. They're not even that close to you. And obviously, I can still choose for myself when I want to explain myself or not. But there were also a lot of situations where I could have just said no, and that's it. And that's the answer. For example, when men are trying to hit on you, and you tell them no, and they're asking you why, because most of the time it doesn't even matter what you say. Even if you're telling them that you're lesbian, they're gonna reply with, oh, but you have never tried this before, as if they're special. Also with teachers trying to touch my hair in high school or elementary school. Also when I got bullied in elementary school, that was this one particular girl. I wanted to say something mean, but I'm not going to say something mean because I'm posting this on the internet. But let's just say she was not the best looking girl, right? And what she would do, because she was very popular and I was scared of people that were popular because they were with a whole group and I was by myself and no one would stood up for me, is every single time when class would be over, I was like 8 years old or something. we would have to stand in a line before going outside, and then we would have to take our jacket and come back and be in line, and then we could go outside for break time. And every single time she would tell me like, oh, you should go get my jacket. And me, dumb stupid girl, okay, I'm not gonna be too harsh on my younger self, but I just wanted to be nice, so I was like, okay. But then one time I said, I don't want to get your jacket, and she started getting angry with me and threatening me and saying like, oh, I'm gonna tell all the other people and we're just gonna bully you and you should do it and da 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 da. So then I still ended up doing it. That's so sad for me, honestly. That's so sad for 8-year-old me. If I would be my big sister, that girl would have been slapped that day. But anyway, no, joking. But because she said all that, I still ended up getting her jacket. After a while, I told my mom and she was like, girl, are you insane? You better go to school. And when she tells you to get her jacket again, you're just going to say no. And you're not going to explain yourself. Because why? Who is she? So that's what I did. There was one time I came to school and I was sitting somewhere and she told me to like move. She's like, oh, you need to move. This is my place. And I just said, no, because your name is not written on it. And she was like, why don't you want to move? I just said, I just don't want to move. And then she left. And I was like, wait, is it that easy? Is it that easy to just not get bullied? Okay. I get it now. I get it now. Great. That was a lesson for me when I was 8-year-old back then at that time. Yeah. Obviously, saying no when you're a people pleaser and when you're a person that has a hard time saying no, obviously you're still gonna slip and slide somewhere, okay? I still have that now. But you need to do the mindful practicing of it. You really need to be present in the moment and think to yourself and say, no, now I'm gonna say no and I'm gonna practice this. And you might get nervous because this person is gonna try to intimidate you. But you need to keep on practicing. And sometimes it's gonna go wrong, but sometimes it's also gonna go right. And then you can be proud of yourself, because I know how hard it is to do that. Okay, next. Number 9, your body is not a trend. I can still remember when I was younger, I would really fluctuate between chubby and getting skinny and chubby and getting skinny. I have always been into sports, so that was never the problem. I actually don't know what the problem was, because I was also eating a lot of vegetables and fruits, but I guess I was still in a calorie surplus because my belly was round at some point in my life. But okay, but I can still remember when I was 12 years old, I would look up diets and then I would follow a soup diet where I could only eat soup every single day. And I can remember like being in bed and still trying to like force myself to eat the soup every single day for 7 days. And then I lost like 6 kilograms in a week. And you could say like, okay, like if you're obese, if you are overweight and you like need to get ready for like a surgery or something, yeah, because that diet was originally for people like that needed to go under surgery and needed to lose weight before the time they would get into surgery. So it's not normal for a 12-year-old to follow the diet. And I would do that. Or for example, when I was 13 years old, I was still doing judo, I was doing dance, I was doing, I don't know how to say it, gymnastics, whatever. I wanted to have a flat belly, I wanted to have abs, I wanted to have this and that, and that's all great. I was doing like 22 hours of sports every single week. But if I would eat 2 cookies instead of 1 cookie, trust, I would be at home doing a 45-minute ab workout after the 4 hours of sports I did that day. And that's insane, especially for a 13 to 14-year-old. And then it became a trend to have stretch marks, and I didn't have stretch marks, but I did begin to have cellulite. Even my mom was like, oh, you're getting cellulite. Oh, why are you getting cellulite? Meanwhile, girl, you also have cellulite. That made me even more insecure, but the stretch marks were popular and I didn't have stretch marks. So now I was at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I would wake up at that time before going to school, trying to do squats, trying to do these like strength workouts for my legs just so I could lose my cellulite. And jokes on me, I never lost the cellulite because it's something normal when you grow up as a woman. So yeah, I really had a bad relationship with food around that time. And like back in time, the trend was to have a little fat. If you look at the Greek goddesses and everything, they had like a little fat. They were like, you know, let's say like a size 38, 40, 42, something like that. And then everyone wanted to be skinny during the 90s, early 2000s. Everyone was skinny. Like I would never. be able to become that skinny. I don't even know how I would be able to become that skinny, okay? I think I don't have it in me. But anyway, so that was around that time. Then everyone started to get BBLs and whatever, and now everyone is losing the BBL. Now everyone is losing the BBL, and now everyone want to be skinny again. And I see girls posting on their social media, on their TikTok about, oh, I don't even care about the ass anymore. I just want to have abs. And everyone's in the comments like, yeah, I just want to have abs. I just want to have a flat stomach and this and that. Okay, that's fine if that's your personal goal. That's not the problem. The problem is that your body is not a trend, because the way your body looks depends on how you are feeling and even the seasons. Because me, during the summertime, I'm snatched. I'm always skinnier during the summertime. I eat the same during the summertime and during the wintertime. I do the same amount of sports during the summertime and during the wintertime. And still during the wintertime, I get a little chubby. I'm a little chubby beer. I have like an extra small fat roll on my back. My waist bead becomes a little bit tighter. And progressing towards the summertime, I just lose the weight automatically. So I think since I was 19 years old, I just stopped forcing myself to have a flat stomach and to always be like looking at my body and be like, oh, I need to do this better, I need to do that better, and I need to blah 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 blah. Stop it. Because your body is your body. It's not a doll. Your body is not a robot, okay? And especially like when you feel depressed, when you have certain things going on in your life, that also has an effect on how you look. Sometimes I'm sick for 2 weeks. Either sometimes my stomach is going to be really flat because I don't eat a lot, or my stomach is going to be bigger because I'm not consistent at the gym. Then when I was younger, I was beating myself up for that because I was like, oh, I'm sick. And now on top of that, oh, I gained weight. Yeah, well, duh, your body is recovering from sickness. So don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Just have your personal goal, but don't follow these trends that are like, I'm getting so sick of these trends. Honestly, just do whatever you want to do. Now all of a sudden the sweet potatoes are a trend. Everyone is eating sweet potatoes for the flat stomach, and like, let it rest. Please, just let it rest. Do whatever you want to do. And now all of a sudden the sweet potatoes are more expensive. So now what am I going to do if I want to eat sweet potatoes? I'm going to pay more money for it because now it's a trend on TikTok. Everyone is making sweet potatoes. No, I'm joking. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. But just make sure that you're not doing it because you're influenced by the media. That's the same thing with going to the gym and they're trying the I don't even know, the 365 Stairmaster, and I'm just saying bullshit. I don't know what I'm saying. Like the 365 Stairmaster and the this and that and the this and the that and everything that is given a title. Like, I'm tired of it. Do what you're happy with. Me, I'm just training the same. I'm eating what I want, but I'm also very conscious of what I eat, of the food I put into my body. So for me, it's not really hard to eat pretty healthy. I have like a 80 to 20% balance of 80% of healthy foods and like 20% of unhealthy foods. So I just eat what I want. I make sure I get enough movement. I go to the gym, I dance, I do my thing. And if my belly is still going to be a little chubby, and if I'm going to have that extra fat roll on my back, then that's going to be it. I'm not going to stress about it because the weight will lose itself over time again. Same with the back workouts. Now everyone want to have a Lori Harvey back. And before Lori Harvey showed her back, no one was talking about it. And now all of a sudden everyone will have that back. And there's nothing wrong with putting goals for yourself and having the discipline to achieve that goal. It's just, yeah, it's just like, I'm just tired of the trends. Okay. Next point. This is the last point. Point number 10. And then we're done for the video. It doesn't matter what most people think of you. And I want to make a separate video on this, so I'm not gonna like explain too long over this. But you came here alone, and there are always gonna be haters, and there are always gonna be people that won't like you or blah blah, have something to say about you, blah blah. Who cares? That's something you can practice by, I don't want to say do outrageous things, but for example, me, I liked to wear revealing clothes when I was younger, and people would talk about it. I didn't give a shit. I would still post stuff like that. And sometimes I would be nervous, but it's my choice, so I do that. Same with becoming a Muslim. When I reverted to Islam, I wanted to post it on my story, and there were people that were talking behind my back and that were saying that it was fake. They had shit to say about me, but I still posted it because I felt like, I don't care what people think. This is who I am now. Same with wearing the headscarf. Same with starting this podcast. I was thinking like, What if people are not gonna like me? But then I was thinking like, wait, there are also people that are gonna like me because they already told me that they like when I speak and I want to speak. I have something to say. So I'm just gonna say it. And whoever likes it, and whoever doesn't like it, well, boohoo, okay, then don't watch me. Don't watch me, okay? So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it short. It doesn't matter what people think about you, because when you pass away, the next generations are not even gonna know about you. Just do whatever you want to do. As long as you're not hurting people or hurting yourself, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, and okay, these were my 10 topics that I wanted to talk about today. I think I'm gonna make a part 2 because I have a lot more to say on this, okay? These are the 10 things I would tell my younger self if I was her bigger sister, to help her grow. That was it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye bye. I've been doing what I want. It's a pickup in the back by the trunk in the front. Tequila in the back, batty blunts in the front. Purse 101, first 101. I got the money, make a broke bitch mad. I don't complain, I just pay the tab.